As is the case every year, New Year's Day has been celebrated all throughout the world. But sociologists and political analysts remain pessimistic about 2023. According to them, feelings of powerlessness, injustice, and even anger within populations have spread across all latitudes. It must be said that it has been one trial after another for the human race. The COVID-19 epidemic, the war in Ukraine, which brings its share of suffering and uncertainty, inflation, especially with food products, which is further ruining the most fragile populations and reinforces social inequalities, global warming, whose effects are having a substantial impact on the planet, directly or indirectly causing droughts, floods, famines, storms, and sending refugees on the search for more hospitable lands in which to settle, which will likely cause other problems linked to mass immigration in certain countries. In short, the world is seeking resiliency, and according to experts, it's not certain that the light at the end of the tunnel is coming anytime soon.
Okay, welcome back everyone to episode 1 of the United States series. So let's look at some of the issues we're going to have to contend with first. So the first being inflation. So that's at 8.1%. Our interest rate is at 5.25, so we're going to raise that by 1%. All right, and the next issue is crime. So we're at 6.5%. So for now, let's get some more cameras. Alright, so we're done with that for now. Let's deal with some of the inflation issues. So, alright, so let's make this a reform. And we'll call this the American Pension Act of 2023. So we'll create that. And alright, so let's raise the pension amount. So let me do it by 10 for now. Can always make an adjustment later on. And I'm gonna go to taxes and Alright, actually, let me see what that was again. So we're just gonna make this let's just make this 70 be a little more moderate. For employer, okay, so we have 65% approval. So we're done with that. Alright, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
I feel it necessary to instruct you on the strategy of targeted conquest, which is a simple and effective military option that we can use in the event of expansionist warfare. So, at our headquarters, you can designate one or multiple regions in enemy territory as a target. Our troops will be deployed and they will attack to conquer those regions, then adopt a defensive stance in order to keep it. If the enemy manages to retake the territory, our troops will focus solely on taking it back, and then defending them once again. If the nation is very large or too powerful to be completely conquered, this strategy will help you make partial gains with your military. Then negotiate their annexation with a peace accord. And whether you decide as you go or from the start of the conflict, our troops will adapt.
Okay. Alright, so the next thing we need to deal with is inflation. And probably unemployment too. Alright, so unemployment isn't too bad. But we're going to cut back on some of the benefits and hit 2 more stars to help seniors. Actually, let's go back a little more. Okay.
I think you're doing a good job.
I believe I must remind you here and now of the various elements that can impact the effectiveness of the infantrymen in combat. So, in no particular order, the strength of the military, the quality of the armaments, the quality of the military education and training, salary levels, the legitimacy of the conflict, of course, especially if the soldier has to defend their homeland on their own soil. Shifts in the conflict, such as territorial gains or losses inflicted on the enemy, weapons suppliers, moral support, including coming from the head of state. One can conclude that at your level, the highest there is, you have the means to impact troop morale.
Okay. Alright, so let's deal with some of the immigration issues. So we'll max both of those out.
I must inform you that you can, at your leisure, consult a summary of our files on terrorist groups targeting our country.
Okay. Alright, so let's go to Secret Service and and you know what? Let's go ahead and max out our cybersecurity. And let's see what else. Alright, so let's deal with these terrorist groups. Actually, let's try to infiltrate them while they're still small. Alright, so we're going to increase international agents by 100. And on national territory, we're just going to bump this up to 50,000. Going to increase our training. Let's do our networks. So we'll keep an eye on Iran, China, India. We don't need that. Not interested in Switzerland. Not interested in Thailand, France, Brazil, Israel, South Korea, Venezuela, Pakistan, Egypt, and Iraq. Alright, first we're going to put 100 agents in China and do political spying, demolition of strategical objectives, and industrial sabotage. Russia, we're gonna make that 75 to industrial spying and political spying. Just bump this up to 25. We're not going to do a whole lot with Iran for right now. Same with North Korea. to demolition of strategical objectives. Bump that up to 25. So that leaves let's go by country. So because of what happened with the pullout of Afghanistan, we're going to deal with them a little bit differently. And may try to take out a lot of their military, since they have our equipment. So we are going to, we'll put our top agent in China for now.
Our best coders are working around the clock. They will be working closely with manufacturers and national operators. I will get back to you when the networks are undergoing beta testing.
Alright, so let's look at industry. Trade balance is pretty high with that. Farming. It's not as bad. Let's go to energy. And service. So alright, so numerical infrastructures. We're gonna do let's do a subsidy of 500 million to get that up. Now let's look at tourism. Alright, so tourism is up. Alright, so internet services. Let's do the same thing. We're gonna bump that up to about 500 million as a subsidy.
We have obtained some information on this terror suspect. I urge you to examine his file. But in the end, I will not always keep you informed of every new piece of information. It's up to you to regularly consult the file.
Okay, William Briscoe. Alright, so which guy was that? Alright, so they have more, so let's put these guys under surveillance. And alright, so he didn't do anything significant. Alright. Okay, we are going to adjust.
1 week before the beginning of the festival, the hotels are full of bursting. Photographers and TV crews have gone all out again. Your presence, even if it's just for a day, would light up our event and would restore the image of our national culture. And can't you imagine yourself on a magazine cover, chatting with some of the most glamorous stars? So, I'll put you on the agenda.
Alright, so the first thing is we're going to adjust, adjust food cost for some of the things we have overstock in. So that would probably be corn. So we'll do a, okay, we will call this the produce price reduction act. And okay, we have overstock in pork. Rice. So rice we will do we'll do 3%. Vegetables I can't do anything with because we don't have enough. What about beef? Don't have enough for that. And chicken. Chicken we do. Just gonna do 2% that. Alright, so we have 74% approval for that, so.
The vote was held and the reform was adopted.
Alright, so the American Pension Act went through.
Although your economy is among the healthiest, your solvency may not be safe from depreciation. So we would like to reiterate our confidence in you while recommending vigilance. Let me remind you, in case you're unaware, that our assessment is mainly based on your projected budget deficit, the amount of your debt, and, this specific to our agency, on your growth rate.
You're really peachy keen.
Alright, so I'm gonna take a look at our energy in a minute. Alright, we do need high velocity missiles, so gonna bump up the research for that.
It would behoove me to provide you with a short summary of the various tactics of our infantry. Firstly, stealth. This is actually viable for all ground units, including armored vehicles. Our soldiers can move clandestinely, which will limit the risk of being shelled or intercepted. They will not take any principal road, and their progress will obviously be slower. Secondly, mines. Each infantry division now has engineering skills and can lay minefields or, conversely, demine an area. A unit that crosses an enemy minefield is subject to losses all through the mined area. Thirdly, fortifications. Our soldiers are trained and equipped to build anti-vehicle lines of defense, trenches or lines of fortification. Anti-tank lines, called Dragon's Teeth, can stop units as well as destroy them. Trenches can be dug quickly and offer acceptable protection to the troops that are stationed there. Fortified lines take longer to build but are obviously more resistant than trenches. Warning: if the enemy succeeds in displacing our troops and seizing our defenses, they will be able to use those defenses as their own.
Alright, yeah, I almost forgot about detention centers for immigration. And discourage illegal employment.
Our team is in place. The information gathered on this suspect terrorist will be archived directly into his dossier, which you can consult at any time.
Undeniably, you have inside you the founding values of society, such as love for family and respect for parents.
Okay, so let's go with energy. Now, for surplus of 267 terawatts. So, of course, we want to be energy independent. So let's see where we are with oil. Alright, so we need to increase our supply to meet our demand, but that demand is going to go up also. So let's do 2 oil platforms. Put one there, and the other one. Yeah. And then to a 3G nuclear plant there. And we'll put another one there too.
Your conservative management combined with growth prospects reflect a stability that gives us confidence in your solvency and in your leadership. We trust you. Your conservative management, although your
Alright, so for the first ones, for the fabric, we'll go ahead and patent that. Alright, they're trying to compete with our space program.
Our infiltrated agent is on site.
I would like to talk to you about ground-to-ground artillery and self-propelled guns. These are machines that are certainly less devastating and less precise than missile launchers, but they are easier to produce or acquire. They fire mortar rounds, also much easier to make and less expensive than missiles, but their rate of fire is higher. When used in large numbers, they are very effective at bombarding enemy positions.
Okay, well, trying to keep that in mind. Let's see, what am I... Okay, yeah, no, actually, let's go to work, and so we'll max this out. Alright, so let's do the detention centers. It's 140 spaces, 240. Dude, 960, that's gonna be... $2 billion.
The bill has been voted on and the law has been passed.
Your commitment to defending family values
Alright, anti-tobacco legislation.
This would be a good time to put an end to these antiquated practices that still pervade your country. In the 21st century, there are other proven methods to discipline children other than violence. It's clear that children need a secure environment in order to flourish. It is a guarantee of the orderly development of our planet. We are counting on you.
Alright, so let's deal with some foreign policy. So we are going to close our embassy in Afghanistan. We're also going to ban the head, and we're going to put an arms embargo on them as well. Alright, not getting involved in the, not getting involved in this war at all.
Your conservative management combined with growth prospects reflect a stability that gives us confidence in your solvency and in your leadership. We trust you.
And we're gonna take back our control over our satellites. And we're not supplying any weapons at all. So next, want India as more of a trading partner. So initiate year of culture with them. Alright, we're also gonna reduce tariffs by 25% with them. In industry and farming. No, we're not giving you weapons. Let's do service also. Let's just do 20%.
The vote was held and the reform was adopted.
And Vietnam produces a lot of goods too, so we're gonna do the same thing with them. I'm gonna do 30%. And yeah, farming will do 25.
It must be conceded that there is a stalemate between the two armies.
Alright, not getting involved in that, like I said. Biodegradable plastic. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, 7% failure. Alright.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating Key Center. According to my calculations, the informational gain, in geopolitical terms, could be close to 2.73 on Sachs graphic. Our agent also allows us to anticipate and therefore counterattack their terrorist projects. You can decide to dismantle this organization, but the more an agent remains infiltrated...
Alright, we'll keep them infiltrated for
In
now.
a statement sent to the press, the terrorist organization has claimed responsibility for the operation. We have collected intelligence from various departments.
Alright, encouraging battle robots. Alright. Alright, so let's go to research. And... for now, let's just invest 4.5 billion in growing our own food.
Our agent number 1 succeeded in infiltrating the staff. Imponderables accepted...
Alright, so where are their submarines at? Ah, there we go. coast of China, India. Oh, really? Okay.
Well, this type of event is absolutely essential for our citizens. Since the dawn of humanity, people have had the need to ease the burdens of everyday life and to be entertained. We should have only art and culture in our city's center, because they serve this goal. It's what makes this city so rich and vibrant.
Alright, so let's deal with housing real quick. Gonna rehabilitate 150,000 homes. Let's check on inflation, see how much that's come down. That's come down a lot in a month. So that's pretty good. We don't need to make any more adjustments to that. Alright, so let's go to let's go to service. I'm not going to use that. So actually, let me look at our debt. Alright, so we reduced it, but we can reduce that even more. So let's sit with China. And sit with Japan. And negotiate the $1 trillion debts that we have with them.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating Key Center. According to my calculations, the informational gain, in geopolitical terms, could be close to 2.73 on Sachs graphic. Our agent also allows us to anticipate...
Alright, let's go ahead and try it. Alright, purchase of territory. So that's a feature that I actually like. So we can actually annex American Samoa, the Marshall Islands, and Northern Marianas Islands, and Puerto Rico. So when I first played this game, I actually annexed the Marshall Islands with no problem. Puerto Rico resisted. Those are the only two that I actually tried with, so I may do that later on in the series.
Very well. What kind of offer do you wish to make us?
Oh, can't beat that. Guess I'll change the subject.
I'd be happy.
Alright, so let's see. So yeah, we're not going to be taking any refugees at all. Alright, let's take a look at immigration. And what are the main countries that, Alright, so it's Mexico, India, Philippines. Alright, so Mexico is the highest one. So with China, yeah, we're gonna keep that since we have tensions with them. Mexico. Alright, we'll have to deal with the space program at some point. Alright, so I think I'm going to end this episode. So you guys can tell me what you think of it, what you think of some of the new features. Next episode, I'm going to start up with some of the tariffs and trying to improve our industrial sectors. And we're gonna pull more resources from this conflict. There's a reason why I'm not saying it by name, because of the platform this is on. So, yeah, that's it, and I will see you soon.